Hello everyone, hello guys, welcome to our 22nd lecture. What are we going to do today, right? For the past almost 2 weeks, we have been talking about listening, right? We have already learned a lot of stuff about listening part 1 and listening part 2, right? And now it's time to learn how to deal with listening part 3. Всем добрый вечер, здравствуйте, добро пожаловать на нашу 22-ю уже лекцию. Мы уже выучили достаточно о listening первой и второй части, уже знаем, что из себя представляет этот тест. Да? И теперь сегодня мы поговорим о listening part 3. Окей, мы не только сегодня будем делать some listening exercises, we're also going to do some vocabulary exercises, and we're going to learn some vocabulary related to family and relationship within the family. I'm sure that this vocabulary is going to be very useful for you. Итак, сегодня у нас не только listening, но у нас такой совмещенный урок listening and vocabulary. Мы не только будем что-то слушать, но и также будем изучать новые слова. Но пока мы начинаем, I'll tell you about some new techniques, right? New listening techniques. And we'll talk about problems. Let's start with talking about problems and solution. Кто-то может посмотреть, сказать problem, solution, разве это не writing? Но не только, когда вы слушаете в listening, когда вы слушаете чью-то speech, чей-то talk, очень часто там обсуждается какая-то проблема, и нужен тоже определенный навык для того, чтобы для того, чтобы эффективно, to listen about problems and solutions effectively. So speakers occasionally describe problems and present solutions. For example, the city has an unsustainably high level of consumption of state-supplied water. However, the problem could be solved if grey water was recycled and citizens were encouraged to save and use their own water rather than rely on the government. Итак, мы здесь видим в одном предложении, у нас, не в предложении, в одном коротком абзаце есть одновременно и problem and solution. So typical features of describing problems and solutions, they are: first, speaker gives information about a problem and then gives a range of possible solutions. Часто следом за описанием проблемы сразу же идет a range of possible solutions. It means целый спектр возможных решений этой проблемы. Next one. To present the problem, the speaker uses a range of structures to indicate the extent of the problem. Для того, чтобы представить проблему, спикер часто использует целый range, да, целый спектр структур для того, чтобы показать степень проблемы. Например, the water storage has been particularly severe since 2008. Да, severe показывает серьезный. And we can understand that it's a serious problem. They may also focus on the causes or reasons for the problems. Также спикеры часто могут сфокусироваться не только на проблеме, на причинах этой проблемы. For example, there are several reasons why the city faces acute water issues. Finally, offering solutions, the speaker uses ordering, sequencing languages. Мы проходили очень полезно, мы проходили эти фразы на speaking, да, one solution, one possible solution, another way to fix the problem. Это такие сигналы. То есть вы слышите эти сигналы, вы их уже знаете, с ними знакомы, и ваш слух прямо в этот момент становится супер острым. Вы понимаете, что дальше сейчас будет solutions. Okay. Um, right now, let's do this exercise. It is called listening for problems and solutions. We're going to listen to the short talk and complete the summary below using one word only. Это у нас очень часто бывает в listening такое, что вот, например, у вас есть с 5 gaps, да, 5 gaps, с 5 пропусками, короткий такой абзац, но, естественно, не будет такого, что спикер один в один говорит тут слова, он, можно сказать, это вкратце, сжатый такой, сжатое, да, summary, вот здесь написано всего, это summary всего, всей речи, да, поэтому помимо между вот этими предложениями может быть еще 3-4 предложения, да, и так часто случается и на listening, поэтому please be ready for it. One moment, I will start.
Exercise 38.
Our challenge is to produce graduates who are able to go into the workplace and get on well enough with their fellow employees to complete projects successfully. There is also a need to turn out graduates who have superior interpersonal and negotiation skills. It is strongly recommended that tutors carefully organise their classes so that students develop these skills. One way to do this is to organise more group work. However, tutors need to pay very careful attention to how they put these groups together. The traditional approach is to let students choose their own groups. Unfortunately, this rarely leads to achievement of target skills, as students will choose their friends and won't develop their interpersonal skills with strangers. My advice would be to go with random group allocation, but making sure there is a balance between local and international students. Now you have your groups, but how can you make sure students work together effectively? First, you need to point out the benefits of working with strangers, particularly in the context of preparation for the workforce. Then make sure the group members are able to connect with each other through exchanging each other's details, such as phone numbers and email addresses. Urge them to schedule regular meetings and agree on common expectations for the group assignment related to quality of work and expected grades. It is also important to allocate responsibilities within the group so that the work gets done. This could involve matching personalities to roles. For example, someone who likes organising could be assigned the role of taskmaster.
Okay, I know. This listening task is much more difficult than the previous ones, than the ones which we did on Tuesday. Oh, we have something. Okay. Don't be upset. Don't be upset. It's not a real test, Ekaterina, right? It's not a real test. You need you're practicing, right? You're learning. In the beginning, when you start doing something, it seems difficult. Okay, Georgi tried to do something for okay, almost. Let's listen for the second time, and I will stop. I will stop at some points to help you. So let's do the first one, this one. As I said, the listening test is getting harder and harder, more and more difficult through the whole exam because we have the easiest tasks in the beginning in section 1, section 2 is more difficult, and section 3, yes, it is quite difficult. Not bad, Ekaterina, not bad. Okay, okay. So let's listen to the first
Exercise
sentence.
38.
Our challenge is to produce graduates who are able to go into the workplace and get on well enough with their fellow employees to complete projects successfully. There is also a need to turn out graduates who have superior interpersonal and negotiation skills.
Okay, help graduates who have superior, right? The synonym for superior is well developed. So superior, it means значимый, превосходный, well developed, хорошо развитый, something, and negotiation skills. Навыки переговоров. Negotiation skills, навыки переговоров. Давайте посмотрим. Что они... Вот эта часть.
Also a need to turn out graduates who have superior interpersonal and negotiation skills. It is
Окей, who caught it? Поймали? Поймали ответ? Superior and negotiation skills. Interpersonal. You are right, Ekaterina. Yes, it's the right answer is interpersonal. Okay, so they can help produce graduates who hold superior or well-developed interpersonal and negotiation skills. Okay, to encourage this, careful attention to group composition is very important. Then another way to organize groups is to allow group members to self-select who they will work with. Okay, right now what we need before we start listening, let's look at this word. Посмотрим на предложение непосредственно перед га, да? Вот encourage careful attention to group composition. Let's identify the keywords. What are the keywords? На прошлом уроке мы учили
strongly recommended that tutors carefully organise their classes so that students develop these skills. One way to do this is to organise more group work. However, tutors need to pay very careful attention to how they put these groups together. The traditional approach is to let students choose their own groups. To how they put these groups together. Students develop these skills. One way to do this is to organise more group work. However, tutors need to pay very careful attention to how they put these groups together. The traditional approach is to let students choose their own groups. more group work. However, tutors need to pay very careful attention to how they put these groups together. The traditional approach is to let students choose their own groups. Unfortunately, this rarely leads to achievement.
Простите, но вас не слышно. Сам вот рекорд, а вас не слышно.
Да, надо было раньше сказать. Я не знаю, как он выключился сам. Traditional, yes, Ekaterina, that's right. The traditional approach, the traditional way to organize groups is to let students choose the group themselves, right? Посмотрим. The next part is, however, значит, что-то будет уже противоположное имеющейся информации, да, уже морально к этому будем готовы. Какие-то groups often produce much better results. Вот здесь вот Екатерина слушала, кое-что выслушала. Let's listen.
Of target skills, as students will choose their friends and won't develop their interpersonal skills with strangers. My advice would be to go with random group allocation, but
My advice would go to... Ваш выход, Екатерина? Yes, random. It's random groups often produce much better results. Okay, let's continue. To ensure the groups run smoothly, you need to check members with each other. Посмотрим. Что-то members with each other. So in this part, we expect to hear a verb. Тут что-то будет verb. And have the same что-то regarding quality of work, right? Maybe the same level, the same knowledge, the same motivation, right? It's after the word the same, we use a noun, right? We use a noun. Okay, so here we expect to hear a verb, and in 5 we expect to hear a noun. Let's start listening.
making sure there is a balance between local and international students. Now you have your groups, but how can you make sure students work together effectively? First, you need to point out the benefits of working with strangers, particularly in the context of preparation for the workforce. Then make sure the group members are able to connect with each other through exchanging each other's details, such
So, did anyone catch it? I'll play this part for one more time.
context of preparation for the workforce. Then make sure the group
sure.
members are able to connect with each other through exchanging each other's details.
Yes, connect with each other, you're right. And have the same regarding quality of work.
Such as phone numbers and email addresses. Urge them to schedule regular meetings and agree on common expectations for the group assignment related to quality of work and expected grades.
So they have common or the same, одинаковые. Что одинаковые имеют в виду? Что интересы, мотивацию.
Schedule regular meetings and agree on common expectations for the group assignment related to quality of work and expected grades.
So, кто-нибудь поймал? Did anyone catch? Expectation, really good job. And right now, let's listen the whole audio again for the last time. And this time, listen to it particularly careful, and you will... Вы удивитесь, как это я с первого раза все эти слова не услышала. И мы дальше
Size
пойдем.
38.
Our challenge is to produce graduates who are able to go into the workplace and get on well enough with their fellow employees to complete projects successfully. There is also a need to turn out graduates who have superior interpersonal and negotiation skills. It is strongly recommended that tutors carefully organise their classes so that students develop these skills. One way to do this is to organise more group work. However, tutors need to pay very careful attention to how they put these groups together. The traditional approach is to let students choose their own groups. Unfortunately, this rarely leads to achievement of target skills, as students will choose their friends and won't develop their interpersonal skills with strangers. My advice would be to go with random group allocation, but making sure there is a balance between local and international students. Now you have your groups, but how can you make sure students work together effectively? First, you need to point out the benefits of working with strangers, particularly in the context of preparation for the workforce. Then make sure the group members are able to connect with each other through exchanging each other's details, such as phone numbers and email addresses. Urge them to schedule regular meetings and agree on common expectations for the group assignment related to quality of work and expected grades. It is also important to allocate responsibilities within the group so that the work gets done.
Окей, я надеюсь, в этот раз прям уже все 100% clear. Окей, so what, обычно вот так и будет на IELTS, не будет все прям слово в слово. Yes, they use lots of synonyms. This is how they test your level of English. You really learning synonyms is really, really important if you want to get a good grade. For example, way, approach, to make sure, to ensure, and the same common, right? What well-developed, superior, очень важно учить эти синонимы. Также у нас будет непосредственно в тесте, там не будет прям слово в слово, и вам только остается заполнить пробел. Нет, нужно прям выхватывать, уметь выхватывать из контекста слова. Это skills, you can develop it. Это не то, что у вас не получается и все. Нет, это точно так же, как вождение, cooking, driving. Чем больше вы это делаете, тем лучше это со временем начнет получаться. Yeah, you're right. You need to practice a lot. Но когда понимаешь, как, с какими навыками подходить к практике, становится намного проще. А когда все это какой-то странный темный лес, конечно, практика пугает. Окей. Мы уже очень много прошли разных, how to say, we learned different skills, разные методы, подходы прошли к этому времени. Okay, and now let's talk about procedures, right? We have already learned a lot of things about procedures, about processes, when we were learning Writing Part 2. Да, в Writing Part 2 у нас есть часть процедуры, процессы. Здесь похоже. Такое задание тоже is really common in IELTS speaking, когда вы должны заполнить, вот, like this one, I'll show you. Когда есть вот такой процесс, 1, 2, 3 переходит, потом у вас такая таблица, you see this table, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Да? И вы должны их заполнить. So speakers sometimes describe procedures, what you should do, and processes, how things are done. For example, fill in this form, attach a photo, and submit it to the visa section. Your application will then be considered and you will be notified by email. What typical features of processes and procedures? They include sequencing or ordering language. Часто употребляются такие слова в процессах, процедурах. First, then, after that, finally. Это хорошие слова, они нам прям помогают удерживать фокус. понимать, что зачем следует. Там вы слышите finally, понятно, что это уже будет, например, вы вот так прослушали, слушаете про первый, потом они говорят then, вы понимаете, все, можно закрыть про первый, не слушать, перейти на следующее. Дальше они говорят the next step, вы для себя второй закрываете, уже максимально концентрируйтесь на третьем. Четвертое сделали, они говорят finally, the last step, вы забываете про все оставшееся, весь ваш фокус здесь, на пятом. Поэтому эти слова очень-очень важны, они наши, так сказать, помощники. Also in processes and procedures, we can also encounter words like imperatives. Imperatives – это повелительное наклонение, да? Lift the lid, switch on the power, click on start. Часто используется повелительное наклонение, и либо вопросы, слова should, вам следует, need to, вам нужно. Also descriptions of steps in the process using passive verb forms such as water is heated, water is bottled. В процессах часто используется пассивный залог. Вода расфасована там по бутылкам, например. Окей, so right now, что мы делаем? Какой подход мы применяем к процессам? Первое, нам нужно сразу, не нужно прям дико изучать вот эти картинки. You don't need to spend too much time studying these pictures because and the good news, you're not required to have any specific knowledge. Вам не нужно никаких технических знаний для того, чтобы заполнить. Вы смотрите, первое вот это изучаете stage, equipment, да, оборудование, result, да, уже что-то понятно. Stage cleaning, second, third, bleaching, выбеливание, and 5. Equipment, beans, sprinkles, vats, sacks. В результате, вот cleaning использовали beans, в результате removes dirt or debris. И вот так вот быстро анализируйте. Second stage. Да, оборудование, да, результат. Makes the kernel soft. И важно, тут такой момент, сразу же первое, второе, третье определите для себя последовательность, потому что инстинктивно сразу хочется сюда переключиться 5, а у нас 4 осталось внизу. Поэтому, возможно, вы так сделаете 3, 4, начнете слушать 5 и не можете понять, почему что-то не подходит сюда, а оказывается, нужно было смотреть сюда. Это частая ошибка. Okay, so right now let's listen. It's 34, track 34. 34.
Exercise 31.
One of the most widely occurring processes in the world is the production of refined flour from wheat through a process called milling. There are 4 main stages in the process. In the first stage, the cleaning stage, the wheat grains, or kernels as they are called, are placed in large bins which contain revolving blades. These remove any dirt or debris, leaving clean kernels for further processing. In the next stage, known as conditioning, the kernels are placed under large sprinklers. In this way, they are treated with water to condition them, that is, to soften them, to make them soft enough to break in the next stage of the process. The next stage is the actual milling itself. In this milling phase, as we call it, which of course is the key process in the whole operation, the grains are passed between rollers, enormous round rollers. This action splits the kernels and produces the finely ground grains that we know as flour. The flour moves to the bleaching stage, where it is placed in large vats and treated with bleaching agents. This makes the flour white. Traditionally, this process was achieved through natural aging. The flour is then mechanically packed in a process known as sacking. so called because the flour is placed into large sacks. The flour is then ready for use in baking bread and cake products, and for use in cooking.
Окей, давайте теперь. Okay, we have answer.
One of the most
One
widely occurring
moment. I will open. Georgi, your listening skills are getting better and better. The first one is conditioning. Это давняя ваша проблема, да, conditioning, потому что у вас, я еще помню с времен writing, есть небольшие проблемы именно с развлечением частей речи, да, например, condition – это условие, да, conditioning, посмотрим, сюда больше подходит. Окей, Георгий, and the rest answers are correct. Да, не считая, что вот ing conditioning добавили, все остальные прям идеально. Great job, great job. Окей. Итак, first is conditioning, second is milling, да, перемалывание. Third one, rollers. Вот между такими они перемалываются. Это equipment rollers. Bleaching makes the flour white. Делает белым его. And finally is sacking. Sacking мешок, то есть распаковка по мешкам. Okay, we got the right answers. And do you guys need to listen for one more time? Хотите, чтобы я еще раз дала прослушать и остановилась на вот этих местах? Или же прям 100% clear и можем дальше двигаться? Give me your answer. Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay. 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 Just a moment. Anticipating what speaker will do next. Даже такой навык нам понадобится. When people speak, they use words that help their listener work out the direction of a conversation or monologue. Examples include words such as however, although, because, that, but. On the other hand, when we hear these words, we can anticipate the type of information that will be given next. Например, the food at the restaurant was fantastic, but the service, да, мы даже не дослышали, we didn't hear the rest of the sentence, but this word but, right, it really gives us a certain idea what the service is, right? The service is definitely not great. Because you know that but introduces a contrast, you can anticipate that the next statement will be negative, right? But the service was terrible. We can call these words link words, signpost words, and effective listeners catch these signpost words and use them to anticipate what the speaker is going to do next. Okay, this helps them follow conversation and monologues more effectively. Okay, давайте, у нас много материала на сегодня. Guessing what speaker will say, right? Let's look at this exercise. So first one, we're going to listen, but before we listen, let me explain you the exercise 1A. How does she sound? Например, happy, warm, positive. Например, кто-то кричит: Oh my God, congratulations! Да, и уже дальше мы уже понимаем, что случится. What is the context? A university, because of past distinction student union. Да, здесь у нас нетипичное задание. Это не задание из теста, это задание, которое помогает развивать навык предположить наперед, что предположить наперед, что будет сказано. Да? What are some of the keywords she uses? Да? Such a good news, wonderful, well done. Да, вот эти keywords, они помогают нам. What is she doing? She is congratulating the second person. Давайте сделаем такое же упражнение. Здесь нету как бы, we don't have right or wrong answers for this exercise. Тут вы сами слушаете и как бы guess, предсказываете. Например, what does she sound? What is the context? Keyword? What is she doing? Так, сейчас прослушаем и первую часть, и потом сразу вторую.
Exercise 26. 1.
Hey, I heard the good news. That's wonderful. Well done. I'm really happy for you.
Thanks. Yes, I'm really pleased and relieved that it's all over.
Oh, I never had any doubt that you'd pass. And look, you got a distinction. Well done. You really deserve it.
Thanks. I'm heading over to the student union. I'm going to ring my parents. You coming with me?
2.
Мгм.
Come on.
I don't want to.
Oh, come on. I don't want to go by myself. And it's only $25 for students. That's great value. Look, how about this? I'll pay for half of your ticket if you come. Will you come then?
But I'm not that keen on their music.
3.
It's really 4 machines in one. It's got a telephone,
wait,
a fax
third
machine.
one. We don't need the third one. Okay. Итак, how does she sound? Да, she was trying to persuade, right? Him, come on, come with me, right? Happy, excited? You mean the first one or the second one? Давайте second one вот отсюда. Я первый проиграла для того, чтобы у вас как бы, ну, было представление. Ответы уже есть, теперь
You
второй.
coming with me?
The first, yes.
Two.
The first.
Come on.
I don't want to.
Oh, come on. I don't want to go by myself. And it's only $25 for students. That's great.
So, how does she sound? Anyone? Guys? No. Okay, got some answers. Annoying. Okay. Annoying. Imposition. What is imposition? You mean okay, now I got you. So you mean she was trying to persuade him, right? She also sound like pitiful, жалостливо. And what is the context?
Value. Look, how about this? I'll pay for half of your ticket if you come. Will you come then?
But I'm not that keen on their music.
What is the context of the conversation? concert, right? Tickets. Okay. The concert tickets pay. Yes, you're right. Okay, and what are some of the keywords she uses? For example, in first part, she said, "Happy for you, well done," etc. Let's listen. Let's listen one more time. What key
That's great
phrases
value.
does she use?
Look, how about this? I'll pay for half of your ticket if you come.
Wait,
Will you
wait,
come then?
But I'm not that keen on their music.
wait.
Come on.
I don't want to.
Oh, come on.
no.
I don't want to go by myself. And it's only $25 for students. That's great value. Look, how about this? I'll pay for half of your ticket if you come. Will you come then?
But I'm not
Come
that keen
then.
on their music.
3.
So, what keywords? So she was begging him, right? Come on, come on. Okay. And what is she doing? Right. The first woman was congratulating the other person, and what is the second woman doing? She is. Any ideas? Calling her friend to the concert, right? And begging the person, yes, begging, умолять, right? She's begging her friend to join her for the concert. Okay, отлично, отлично. So understanding, let's move to the next one, is understanding the status of information, listening to a person's intonation, the way their voice goes up and down can help you understand the status or role of the information that the speaker is giving. If the information they're giving is
Вас не слышно.
Ой, да что ж такое? This year I'm studying chemistry. In fact, I've just bought the main textbook and physics. Да? Два ключевых слова здесь это chemistry, physics. Да? И на них у нас поднялось. Наш тон голоса поднялся. Да? Наш тон голоса не будет поднимать здесь. Например, мы не скажем This year I'm studying chemistry. In fact, I've just bought the main textbook. Да? Нет, потому что bought – это не главная информация здесь. So listen. Okay. What I want you to do now. Посмотрим. Вот у нас есть вот такие sentence. Хоть я вас и не услышу, но вы сами для себя попытайтесь поработать, да. Вот у нас наши стрелки уже показывают, где нам нужно поднять тон голоса. Например, Good morning, class. Today I'd like to talk about producing educational multimedia. This particular type of multimedia as distinct from entertainment multimedia is an area of interest for educators. Попробуйте просто сейчас про себя, буквально это займет 30 секунд, прочесть и поработать тоном голоса. Буквально 30 секунд, и мы потом дальше. Окей. Так, тут уже поняли про тон голоса. Catching the focus. English speakers frequently use focus stress. Да, насчет focus stress мы говорили об этом. Быстро повторим с прошлого урока, что focus stress, практически то же, что я только что сказала, когда мы выделяем очень четко слова, которые содержат важную информацию. Так. Moment. Ouch. Let's talk about listening part 3. What is listening section 3? Кто помнит, что listening part 1, да, это обычно какой-нибудь short dialogue на бытовые темы, забронировать отель, взять в аренду машину, столик и так далее. В listening part 1 у нас обычно там can you spell your name? What is the number of your ID card? И все такое. Listening part 2 у нас обычно диалог между там какими-нибудь студентами, там what do you think about the recent project? Там, what do you think about our new lecture? И так далее. Listening part 3 is a discussion between two to four speakers. For example, a couple of students and a university lecture. Что немножко сложнее, уже там большее количество участников в диалоге, и они постоянно разговаривают, и фокус прям тяжелее удерживать, чем когда их двое, например. The subject is some aspect of academic life. We have up to 3 tasks. В section 3 у нас обычно бывает flowchart completion, multiple choice всегда. Практически в listening part 3 multiple choice это практически обязательно. And labeling and diagram. We have 10 questions, and there is a brief pause in the discussion between the parts that relate to each of the tasks. У нас есть пауза между тасками, между заданиями. Зачем он нужен listening part 3? Что он тестирует? What does it test? Identifying key facts and ideas, how they relate to each other, and identifying speakers' attitudes, opinions. Очень часто. Начнем такая разминочка. У нас будет разминочка с очень легкого упражнения. Прям вообще легче некуда. This exercise. Так, ладно, я рано начала. All we need to do is to answer yes or no. Да? Just like really super easy. This exercise is so easy. We have 8 questions. What is the weather fine? Is the girl trying to avoid the date? Was the man satisfied with the phone? Are university fees going to rise? Does the woman want to see the computer? Is the boy very sick? Did the woman like the movie? Is the teacher pleased with the boy's work? Итак, 1 second. It should be this one.
Unit 5. Seeing beyond the surface meaning. Unit 5,
Answer.
Extract 1.
Yes or no?
Listen to the example first.
Mum, what do you think of my new shirt? Do you like it?
Oh, it's lovely, darling.
Oh, Mum.
Now listen to the rest of the...
So, guys, do you think did the woman like the shirt? It's lovely, darling. Right? What do you think? The answer is yes or no? Now, listen to the others and answer yes or no.
conversations and answer yes or no. 1.
Задание само по себе называется
Fantastic.
Understanding beyond the surface. Да? То есть in Russian we call it in Russian we call it читать между строк или слушать между строк. In English we call it seeing beyond the surface meaning. Да, то есть surface — это поверхность, beyond — это под, да, видеть смысл под поверхностью, да, то есть читать между строк. Мы хотим узнать, what does the speaker mean exactly? Например, do you like my shirt, mom? It's lovely. И как бы, хотя она сказала lovely, но тем не менее понятно, что she didn't like the shirt. Окей, сейчас более понятен смысл упражнения. Can we continue? No, okay. Let's listen.
This is the first day I've had off for months, and look at the weather. Would you believe it?
Oh, well, at least you've got the day to yourself. Never mind the weather.
Is the weather fine? 2.
Hi, Sue. It's Mario here.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Fine. Look, I was wondering if you were free on Saturday evening. I've got some tickets for a concert. Would you like to come?
Oh, look, I'm sorry. I'd really like to, but, like, I'm studying for my exams at the moment, and, well, I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay, not to worry. Some other time then, I suppose.
Right. Sure.
Is the girl trying to avoid the date? 3.
I bought this mobile phone on Friday.
Is there a problem with it, sir?
Well, primarily it does not appear to function outside the metropolitan area, which means it fails to function as a mobile phone, as far as I can see.
Right. I'll just have a word with the manager and see what we can do.
Was the man satisfied with the phone? 4.
Excuse me, Minister. Can you tell us whether your government intends to increase student university fees in the next budget?
The government has every intention of ensuring that students will not be disadvantaged by any increase in fees, which it may be necessary to introduce, by offering grants and scholarships to students wherever possible.
Are university fees going to rise? 5.
I've just ordered a new MMX computer with 32-speed CD-ROM. I'm getting it tomorrow.
That's great.
It's twice the speed of the one we've got now, and much better for games.
Can't wait to see it.
Does the woman want to see the computer? 6.
What did the doctor have to say?
Well, she said if I want to get rid of this flu, I should stay in bed for the next 3 days, drink plenty of orange juice, and stay nice and warm.
That means you'll miss your football on Saturday.
No, I should be okay by Saturday.
Oh, okay. Too sick for school, but okay for football, eh?
Mum, that's not fair.
Is the boy very sick? 7.
I've just seen the new Bond movie.
Have you? I saw it on Saturday.
Wasn't it fabulous? Didn't you just love the special effects?
Yeah, they weren't bad. It was okay.
Did the woman like the movie? 8.
Michael, did you do this work yourself?
Yes, sir. Of course I did.
It seems to have been remarkably well done for you.
Guess I had a good day, sir.
Michael, I wasn't born yesterday.
No, sir.
Is the teacher pleased with the boy's work?
Okay, guys, so what are your answers? All no? Wait. Okay. So first one is no, yes. Second one is yes, you're right. Third one is no. And four. The first one is yes. Minute. University fees going to rise. Это как задание, как слушать депутатов, когда они отвечают на вопросы, да, вроде что-то сказали, а конкретного ничего нет. Он там говорит, мы будем предлагать scholarship, grant, как бы, так что не волнуйтесь. 5 no, 6 no, 7 yes, 8 no. Except the one, Georgia. As I said before, your listening skills are getting better and better. You have almost all answers. You got all the answers correct. Okay. And извиняюсь, я что-то нажала и вышла с конференции. Так, Зарина, можете сделать меня с организатором, пожалуйста, чтобы я начала демонстрацию экрана? Она отключилась. Так, сейчас. Секундочку. Зарина, вы меня слышите?
Да, я вас слышу.
Ага, можете, вы сделали меня, у меня вылетела функция, что я как бы организатор.
Все, сделала.
Все, спасибо. Так, технические моменты. Окей. И теперь уже прям непосредственно из самого теста задание, да, the conversation between three or four people, and they're going to share their opinions, they're going to share their views on a particular subject. Итак, we have 8 questions here, 8 questions and 4 possible options. Вспоминаем нашу тактику для работы с multiple choice question. Обычно вперед у нас 4 дается, но не всегда, иногда прям много. Итак, the person at the door, быстро, looking for work, money, for hospital, visiting friends, быстро. Frank thinks the hospital should be financed. Local, resident, tax, state, companies. Быстро третье. Richard thinks Hugh's view on hospital is funding acceptable, predictable, uninteresting, unreasonable. Hugh's attitude towards the government spending is disapproving, indifferent, understanding, impartial. Окей, и начнем. Вот так вот быстро прям просканировали. И дальше двигаемся. Окей.
Unit 5, Extract 2. Task 1.
Sue, who was that at the door?
Oh, someone collecting money for the local hospital again.
Did you give them anything?
No, Frank, I did not. I refuse to give money at the door to people. It annoys me the way they come round here on Sunday morning expecting us to donate money all the time.
Well, they're hardly likely to come round during the week, are they? Because anybody who can afford to donate money will be out at work. Anyway, Sue, I think they just make you feel guilty.
Richard, I beg your pardon?
You don't want to give any money, so you turn the situation round and blame them for knocking on your door.
Richard, that's not true. I'm happy to give money, but through the official channels. I just don't like people coming to my door.
Well, I tend to agree with Sue. I don't see why we should have to pay for the new hospital out of our pockets. We already pay our taxes. Income tax, purchase tax, you name it tax. The government should pay for the hospital out of general revenue, not the local residents.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, perhaps we don't need a hospital in this area anyway. Why can't people go to the general hospital in town? They've got all the facilities there.
Ah, but Sue...
Okay, so the first four, right? So, who was the person at the door? What did that person want? Was that person looking for work, money, hospital, or friends? Which one? Okay, 1B, yes. The person wanted money. We missed the second one. 3D, unreasonable. So what does mean unreasonable? Forgot the Russian word. So reasonable, it's like when you agree with someone, you say, well, it's reasonable. But when you disagree with someone, you say it's unreasonable. Do you think Richard disagrees with Sue? And 4A, Sue attitude? Not really беспричинная. Потому что reason это причина. Reasonable это, например, вот мы часто говорим reasonable prices, да, то есть адекватная, соответствующая цена, которая подходит, например, вы покупаете компьютер, и у вас вот есть все показатели, и цена к нему нормальная, то есть она к этому компьютеру, она не завышенная и не заниженная. Это цена reasonable. И тут вы видите компьютер с точно такими же показателями, но стоит в 2 раза дороже. И вы говорите, ну зачем мне его покупать, если с такими же показателями я могу купить вот. У этого цена unreasonable, да, то есть необоснованная. Да, вот, наверное, необоснованно завышенная, неадекватная. Поэтому Ричард thinks Sue view, ее мнение какое? Он считает, что она необоснованная, неинтересная, предсказуемая, или можно его принять? Acceptable. Finally, 4. D, impartial. Посмотрим. Indifferent, understanding, disapproving. Disapproving, it means approve, это одобрять, да? Вы что-то сделали, например, вы сдали IELTS, поступили на грант за границу, ваши родители говорят, ваши родители довольны, они approve, они одобряют ваши действия. Если вы сели в тюрьму, они disapprove your actions, они не одобряют ваши действия. Точно так же и здесь. Так, значит, второй. Прослушаем еще раз.
Expecting us to donate money all the time.
Well, they're hardly likely to come round during the week, are they? Because anybody who can afford to donate money will be out at work. Anyway, Sue, I think they just make you feel guilty.
Richard, I beg your pardon?
You don't want to give any money, so you turn the situation round and blame them for knocking on your door.
Richard, that's not true. I'm happy to give money, but through the official channels. I just don't like people coming to my door.
Well, I tend to agree with Sue. I don't see why we should have to pay for the new hospital out of our pockets.
Why do we have to pay for the new hospital out of our pockets? Из нашего кармана, out of our pockets. В то время, когда мы pay tax,
We already pay our taxes. Income tax, purchase tax, you name it tax. The government should pay for the hospital out of general revenue, not the local residents.
Yeah, that's
So the government should pay it, not the local residents. Да, синоним слова government – это state. State – государство, government – правительство. So the correct answer for second is C. Frank thinks the hospital should be financed by the government or by the state. Let's listen for this last sentence.
Tax, you name it tax. The government should pay for the hospital out of general revenue, not the local residents.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Richard thinks her view on hospital funding. Let's continue.
Right. I mean, perhaps we don't need a hospital in this area anyway. Why can't people go to the general hospital in town? They've got all the facilities there.
But Sue, the day you need a hospital, you want it there, ready and waiting for you, close to home, not miles away. And besides, other people may not be able to travel into town like you. Old people, people without cars.
Frank, you know what I mean. Anyway, I still think that...
Okay, я перепутала местами. Да, you're right, it's D for the third one. And...
the government should pay for this kind of thing?
That's because you've grown up in a system where the state does everything for you from the cradle to the grave. But it doesn't work like that anymore. The party's over, I'm afraid, because there simply isn't enough money left in the bank to pay for all this stuff. You see, we're...
Он уже дальше так продолжит. From the party to the grave.
That's because you've grown up in a system where the state does everything for you.
Why can't people go to the general hospital in town? They've got all the facilities there.
But Sue, the day you need a hospital, a town like you.
I mean, anyway, I still think that the government should pay for this kind of thing.
That's because...
I still think that the government should pay for this kind of thing. It's disapproving. Она не одобряет, что они приходят по домам стучаться. Her attitude is disapproving. Okay. Еще 4 задания. Frank thinks that space research only for scientists moving too slowly has practical benefits, has improved recently. Уже space research. In talking about space travel, Frank displays his pessimism, reveals an ambition, makes a predictions, or refers to a book. Sue thinks work is important because it reduces the level of crime, gives individual pride in themselves, helps people find homes, and reduce the need for charity. 8. Richard's overall attitude is helpful, bitter, disinterested, or sarcastic. Now, let's continue listening.
Because you've grown up in a system where the state does everything for you from the cradle to the grave. But it doesn't work like that anymore. The party's over, I'm afraid, because there simply isn't enough money left in the bank to pay for all this stuff. You see, we're in
Yes, but most of the time they waste it. I mean, look at how much government money is spent on roads, on airports, on huge hotels, on space research, for instance, instead of on local social issues. If they
I'm sorry, but I can't agree with you there. Firstly, hotels are built privately, with private money, not government money. And as for space research, well, I think it's incredibly important.
Why, Frank? Tell me, why is space research so important?
Because it's pushing back the frontiers of science, quite literally. And also because you get some fantastic discoveries made as a result of this kind of research, and they have an immediate effect on our day-to-day lives.
Such as non-stick Teflon frying pans.
Well, yes. But there are other much more relevant examples. High-speed aircraft, for instance, navigational equipment, thermal clothing, all sorts of things.
Nice to think that your up-to-date skiing clothes were originally designed for astronauts.
Oh, Richard, you're such a cynic.
Well, you guys can laugh, but I bet you by the year 2050, people will actually be shooting off to Mars on their holidays to get away from it all.
Oh, no thanks, not me.
You think I'm joking, don't you? The next great explorers of this world will be the astronauts. People with vision and courage to try and find new territories. You think it's just science fiction, but it isn't. It's real.
Well, I still think the government would be better advised to target some of the problems on this Earth before they go shooting off to Mars. How can we possibly talk about space travel when there's youth unemployment, crime, poverty? That's where our energy should be going, into making sure that people have a roof over their heads and employment, because work gives people a sense of self. No one wants to be on the receiving end of charity all the time.
Here we go again. Lots of fine ideals, but at the end of...
Richard, you have to have ideals. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, I agree with Sue. I think she's right.
I don't know, you see. I get a funny feeling about
Okay. So did you catch their opinions? For example, what does France think about the space research? Anyone? Oh, okay. 5 hasn't proved. Or C. Okay, you're right. 6. He makes a prediction. He says by the year 2015 we're going to fly to Mars for the weekend, right? It's a prediction. 7. Okay, we'll listen to 7 and 8. D. Sarcastic. Okay, Georgi is doing really, really well. Let's listen to this to 7, part 7.
You guys can laugh, but I bet you by the years to get away from astronauts. People with vision and courage, but it isn't. It's real.
Well, I still think the government would off to Mars. How can we possibly talk about space travel when there's youth unemployment, crime, poverty? That's where our energy should be going, into making sure that people have a roof over their heads and employment, because work gives people a sense of self. No one wants to be on the receiving end of charity all the time.
Work gives people, right, the sense of self, right? Чувство самостоятельности такое. No one wants to be on the receiving part of charity, right? Никто не хочет быть по ту сторону благотворительности, когда тебе дают, right? Okay, so the right answer for 7 is B. Okay, we worked really well today. Мы не успели кое-что сделать по vocabulary. Тут достаточно много. Это переносится тогда на следующий урок. Там очень классные exercises. Но все, что замыслили по listening, мы сделали. And if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer them. Guys?
Ребят, есть вопросы у кого-нибудь? Если вопросов нет, то спасибо всем большое. И на сегодня завершаем наш урок.